While the Department of Justice does not discuss ongoing investigations or confirm specific matters, it is important for the American people and those who might be thinking about leaking classified or sensitive information to know that criminals who would illegally use their access to our most sensitive information to endanger our national security are, in fact, being investigated and will be prosecuted.
Finally, very important, the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, making it very clear those deep state leakers will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Joining us now, more information, as the counselor to the President, Kellyanne Conway. Great to see you. I've been saying this has to happen sooner than later. This is now a clear and present danger to stop the President's agenda, delegitimize him, and really hurt the American people and what they voted for.
It does, Sean. It hurts our national security. And look, you have bipartisan agreement on the very point you just said. No less than the ranking Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee, Senator Mark Warner of Virginia, yesterday said it is disgraceful that the conversations our President Donald Trump had with heads of state has leaked, and that he thinks we should get to the bottom of it as well. And we at the White House agree. This is not leaking against a colleague. I think those stories are ridiculous and hurtful in their own right. We are talking about sensitive classified information that imperils the safety of all of us, the entire citizenry, and more to the point, really puts a chilling effect on leaders to be able to have candid strategic conversations with our president. It's incredibly important for him, for governors, for senators, for people in positions of elected authority and power to speak freely and candidly with other heads of state and not have the threat that these conversations will leak. You know, there has been 4 times the number of leaks and prosecutions, I believe, or charges, I should say, in the Trump administration than there were in previous administrations.
Oh, it's actually
and
more.
That just tells
it's 7 times
something.
the last two. It's seven times the last 2 administrations. And hey, you know what's funny? Because the ACLJ and their Freedom of Information Act request, and we had Jay Sekulow on, as you know, in the first segment. You know, think about how is the DOJ supposed to be writing talking points for the FBI, and then when the FOIA request comes in, we get a blank sheet and we don't know what's on the talking points? We don't know what they put in there? Wow, that's a big revelation also.
Yes, I saw your interview with him, and I think it's very important that the American people see what's going on and that they see the Attorney General, the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of our country, stand up today along with the DNI Director, Dan Coates, and say we take this seriously. He referred to the people who are doing it as criminals.
Wow.
And that was, I think, a very important word. He said we're going to cut down on the culture of leaks. I would go a step further and say you have to cut down on the action of leaks. So I hope it actually has a punitive and preventative effect on those who will think thrice before they get cute and fast and loose with sensitive information. But look, if they can find them, they should prosecute them.
I don't want to put you in a tough spot because you work at the White House, but there have been, in the last couple of weeks, 3 people that have been removed. 2 of the 3 I know have been working to expose this deep state that we talk so much about, those that are leaking at a rate that we've never seen in our history. And it's so dangerous to this republic and to our privacy rights and our constitutional rights and our 4th Amendment rights. And I am worried after reading Sarah Carter's piece yesterday. How is it possible that Susan Rice, who is being investigated for unmasking, and we've got Samantha Power, a whole different issue, and then we got so many others that are also involved here, Ben Rhodes among them. How did she get that waiver? What happened there? That doesn't make any sense to me, Kellyanne.
So I've asked this question, and the spokesman for the NSC has informed me that it's common for former directors to get these clearances, or to keep them, I should say.
Even somebody investigated for leaking?
Well, all of them,
I'm
I'm told that all of them have been granted. In other words, there are many former directors who now have it. Now, you're raising a separate and very important point. That does not stop those who are in charge of investigating unmasking and anything that may have happened between President Trump's surprising and historic victory over Hillary Clinton that the Obama administration was not expecting, and anything that they did do in the time he won to when they left the White House months later. And we know that Susan Rice, we know that Ben Rhodes, we know all these people are in the news now as folks who, Samantha Power, people are at least in the news, and we are obviously monitoring that closely. But I have to tell you that I know this is of interest to many people, and to the extent that people are investigating this, we know people are up on Capitol Hill talking about it, if not asking people to come in and share information. Sean, I still believe that most Americans are very focused on not who has jobs in the White House or elsewhere, but who has jobs across this country.
Kellyanne, thank you as always.